Hi, and welcome to the channel. This is a new project. We'll see how it goes. I have been in a lot of conversations lately with a lot of my friends, and they've suggested that the things that we've been talking about need to be in podcast. So I got elected. This is this channel is going to be a lot about learning to think for yourself, um, how to have your own opinion instead of just repeating what you saw on a podcast or a news clip. Having your own opinion means stopping and thinking about what facts are, what opinions are, giving them some sense of how credible you think they are, and deciding what they mean to you, um, so that you can have your opinion instead of repeating what you heard because you think it's trending and you want social media, you know, well, I guess would be the term. Anyway, we settled on the Galileo theme for the channel because I think the story is kind of inspiring for people who aren't familiar with history. Galileo is the person who figured out the structure of our solar system and that the planets go around the sun and so forth. The existing government of the time was uh, heavily controlled by the church, and the church was maintains their control by people believing that they know everything and that they're the people you need to turn to for answers. So when Galileo came out and said that the Earth was not the center of the universe and the world was round and rotated, that was considered heresy, and he was found guilty of heresy and condemned to death. But the church was more concerned about the image of being right about everything. So they offered him a deal once he was terrified of dying that if he would come into open court and say, on the record, as it were, that he was wrong and that it was all a lie and the church was right and the earth was still the center of the universe and the sun and stars and everything spun around us, that they would not execute him. That instead he would be sentenced to house arrest, which means he could go home, live in his own home. Of course, he would be under guard so that he couldn't tell any of his crazy thoughts to other people, but he would be able to lie. And Galileo, like I said, is a very smart individual, so he took that deal and made his public statement that he was wrong, that the Earth was the center of the universe, that all that nonsense about planets and stuff going around the sun was all just a big mistake. However, there's a phrase, I don't speak Italian, so I'll probably butcher this, but it's like "I per si muove," which means something to the effect of "it still turns" or "it still moves." And that's kind of a jab back that is usually attributed directly to Galileo, like when he was in court and said that the Earth was center of the universe and all that was done, that he threw that in as a kind of a snarky comeback. However, that's probably not true. If he said that in open court, they probably would have still considered him heretic and just executed him. There's another theory that that people say that he said it to the archbishop or whoever was in charge of the trial, that it was a private comeback or whatever directly to that person. But that doesn't make a lot of sense either, because if Galileo was then under house arrest and didn't talk to anybody, the only other person who would have heard it would have been the Archbishop. And why would he go tell people that somebody had this good comeback and messed them up? So anyway, the actual saying can be traced to a painting that someone else did. Um, and the painting is dated back to Galileo's time. So it was when Galileo was still alive that this painting was made. And it's a painting of Galileo in some kind of a dungeon with the words scratched on the wall that it still tonight. And I think what's most inspiring about that is it's not Galileo himself saying it. It's somebody after Galileo was in jail, which means after he came back and said that he was wrong. And that people in the real world still understood the truth. That it wasn't just they were just believing because Galileo said it, because Galileo came back and said it wasn't. But he didn't just say it, he gave them the proof. He showed them how to look at the stars and what it means for them to move the way they move, and how to figure out for yourself and see for yourself the truth. And that's what I want for this channel, is if my channel disappears, if I say something that offends somebody and I get banned or whatever happens, if I give up on the channel and it goes away, I want the people who have listened to what we say to still grasp the facts and the methods of coming to your own reasonable conclusions and being able to think for yourselves and see the truth for yourselves, even if you disagree with it. Because some of the topics I'm already thinking about doing are going to be things that don't have great answers. They're problems that people have gone back and forth with. And we're just going to be covering kind of everybody's viewpoints and what facts there are. Some discussion of psychology in terms of why people think one way versus thinking another way. And hopefully just leaving you with good questions for you to ask yourself so that you can come up with your own opinion and know where you stand on it. I really didn't want this channel to be a lot about politics. Unfortunately, a lot of these big topics become political topics, so we are going to have that. But yeah, it's hopefully just going to be a discussion on how to think and not just repeat what you've heard. And we need a lot of that in the world today, because it's become so easy to just go to your phone, go to the internet, and ask it a question. And it's fine if you need facts. How long do I cook a chicken? Or where's the nearest restaurant? The facts like that you can usually find without a problem. But when you go to the internet and ask it for to give you your opinion, well, that's not what an opinion is. An opinion is not something somebody else tells you. Advertisers want to make you believe that your opinion is something that they tell you. But your opinion has to be something based on what you believe and what you feel and what's meaningful to you about whatever topic you're having an opinion on. And as the algorithms for social media and advertising get stronger and better at convincing you that whatever product is tastier and softer and more appealing than whatever other products, that's essentially computers learning how to program humans. And we need to get in the habit of pushing back against that a little bit so that we can when something is presented to you, the first thing you're going to ask is why. Why do you think that? Why do they think that? Do they have any evidence or basis for it? 4 out of 5 dentist surveys, maybe. Anyway, this is what we'll get into. It's I'm not going to be arm wrestling with the YouTube algorithm, so the whole like and subscribe thing everybody asked for. I think at the minimum, if you don't subscribe, there's a good chance the algorithm's not likely going to throw me up to you. Um, so if you do find this kind of stuff interesting, if you like scratching your head every once in a while and thinking through things, you know, check us out. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then.